In the world where we're at now, where everything kind of seems like a tech apocalypse, everyone's raising prices, nobody can get RAM and storage, Apple here has done the unthinkable. They have made better products at a cheaper price. This was the day that Apple made something better and made it cheaper. It's never going to happen again. But the new Studio display, they're finally getting rid of the Pro XDR, which was a great display, but really expensive and only for people that were serious video editors that needed it as a reference monitor. This new Studio display is going to have a 5K resolution at 27 inches. It's going to now offer Thunderbolt 5 ports on the display, offer 140 host charging, so for your MacBooks that you've got connected to it, you'll be able to finally charge your MacBook at full capacity, which is
That's so
awesome.
nice. It's so nice when you cut that.
This MacBook isn't for you. It's probably not for any tech enthusiast. This really is aimed at, I would say, education and people that are really just needing a laptop to browse the internet, do a few minor things. They're going in for that education market. It's not quite as cheap as the Chromebook, but I think Apple wants a piece of that pie.
I'm kind of kicking myself because I bought an iPad. I think I bought the cheapest iPad for $250, and the iPad Air with M4 is listed at $600. I'm like, that's not. I mean, sure, it's like over double the price, but like in reality, $250 to $300 or $600 for like much better processor and a much better product. Man, I'm like kind of kicking myself that I bought the iPad. And I didn't wait for this.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bed Tech Show. We are finally back after a short little hiatus there. So we're excited to get into it. Ben, what do we have going on tonight?
Tonight's going to be a fun one. We're going to talk about our favorite fruit, the apple. We're going to talk about Apple. Apple released 6 new products this week, which are some not surprised with. Others, I'm like, oh, that's pretty exciting. I'm pretty hyped for a couple things. So 6 of them, which is great. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 6, baby. Fun fact, Ethan, that was my high school soccer number. So lucky number for us. 6 new products from Apple. Yep. So we'll get into those 6 products. That'll cover the majority of the episode. If we tail off in other directions, feel free to go in that. We love doing that. It's fun stuff.
Yes. We love tangents and tinfoil hat moments.
Exactly. So buckle up for a fun ride of conspiracy theory and Apple products.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised with the announcement this week.
Me too.
In the world where we're at now, where everything kind of seems like a tech apocalypse, everyone's raising prices, nobody can get RAM and storage, Apple here has done the unthinkable. They have made better products at a cheaper price.
It's so sweet, actually. I'm not gonna lie. There's like 2 or 3 where I'm like, ooh, I might actually buy that. It's very nice. So anything that caught your what's out of the 6, we'll go through all 6 of them, but I want to start with what is something that's caught your eye that you're looking at.
The new Studio display, because
really, of all the products, that actually surprises me.
Yeah, one, because I think this is like a product where they genuinely made a lot of improvements and made it cheaper, which never happens. This is like something that I'm gonna we should all mark in our journals or something, that this was the day that Apple made something better and made it cheaper. It's never going to happen again. But yeah, the new Studio display, they're finally getting rid of the Pro XDR, which was a great display, but albeit really expensive and only for people that were serious video editors that needed it as a reference monitor. But this new Studio display is going to have a 5K resolution at 27 inches. It's going to now offer Thunderbolt 5 ports on the display that offer 140 host charging. So for your MacBooks that you've got connected to it, you'll be able to finally charge your MacBook at full capacity, which is
That's so
awesome.
nice. It's so nice when you cut that.
And it is going to have, I it's also going to have a stand that you can optionally buy, but they made the stand cheaper. Instead of $1,000, it's only $400 now. I never thought I would be happy for a $400 stand, but here we are. I guess that was their plan the whole time. Let's make a stand that's $1,000 to get everyone mad at it, so we can release one at 400 that everyone will praise.
Yeah,
And it's going to support 120 hertz Pro Motion in there.
that's so sweet. That's
I think
huge,
this
actually.
is yeah, I think this is their first display from Apple that is actually going to be more than 60 hertz in my experience. So, if you could game on a Mac, you would be able to game at a higher speed. But since we can't game on Macs adequately, it's kind of it's just nice to have smooth motion on your
Yeah,
displays.
I'm
It
sure.
is
I'm
go-
sure the video
yeah,
editors will appreciate that.
it is going to it is going to at a price of $3,299. Still a steep price. However, if you are in the market for a really good display at 4K, it's going to have like about over 200 pixels per inch, which means everything on this display is going to be extremely crisp.
That is crazy.
It is a very
200 pixels per inch.
yeah, it is a very pixel dense monitor. So I'm pretty excited for this. I think this is a good step in the right direction. I mean, there are some other competitors out there that are in this. Asus has a ProArt display at 6K resolution, and that looks amazing. But Apple kind of went the more affordable route, making a slightly smaller monitor with a slightly lower resolution. But I think it checks a lot of boxes that people have been asking for with their monitors. What are your thoughts on this, Ben? I've kind of talked a lot and got on my soapbox for this.
No, I'm actually, I love that that's the item you chose out of the six because that was like lowest on mine, to be honest. I'm like, I don't care about this monitor and I don't care about the stand and I don't care about the 5K. The 120 to catch my eye and the Thunderbolt port with the charging is actually pretty sweet. I do like that a lot. But like in my mind, I'm like, I'm such an average Joe that I don't need to spend 1,500 to 3,300 on a
You make
monitor.
smarter decisions with your money, and I spend way too much on monitors.
I'm just mediocre, Ethan. That's all. That's all I am. So, but I love that you chose it because obviously there's a market for it and people want it and they like it. And so Apple came out with it. It's I think it is good that they're making strides on the resolution and the refresh rate. That is actually exciting for me. I know we got that with the iPhone, the iPhones, the last two generations, I think, with the 120, and that's becoming more and more common, which is so nice. So grateful for that. But yeah, this is probably that was this the monitor and stand were probably lowest on my list. I would say top of my list was I think which this I think was the capstone of their presentation, the MacBook Neo.
Oh, yes, I love this MacBook Neo.
So do I. I love it. I love the price point. I feel like this is going to be such a user friendly, consumer friendly laptop. It's going to provide a lot of quality here and not going to break the bank, right? You don't have to spend over $2,000 for a really good MacBook anymore. And so it comes 13-inch liquid retina display, so it's a little bit smaller than maybe some of your other laptops. The camera is not the greatest. It's P FaceTime HD camera, but that's okay. Like you're not buying this ideally for the camera. I don't think anyone buys a laptop for the built-in camera, right?
Right.
It does have some spatial audio speakers. It has dual mics and it has a couple of ports as well. It's powered by the A18, which I'll be honest, I'm not as educated on their different CPUs and what they
Yeah,
power
so
their laptops
that
with. But
was
if you
last
have any
year's
insight, go for it.
that was
Yeah,
last year's iPhone chip. So
got it.
it's a little bit it's an older chip. Great chip, but it's last year's model. It's been a little bit different because it's got the 8 gigs of RAM, so it's kind of it's got less than you would necessarily expect for a laptop.
Hmm. Yeah.
However, I mean, I know a lot of people, if you're coming to this podcast, you're kind of a tech enthusiast. If probably this MacBook isn't for you, it's probably not for any tech enthusiast. If anybody's worried whether they're going to have enough RAM for this, it's probably not for that person either.
Hmm.
Or if they're worried if they're going to have enough storage, it's probably not for those people either. This really is aimed at, I would say, education and people that are really just needing a laptop to browse the internet, do a few minor things. You're probably not going to be able to do much video editing on it. You might be able to do some light photo editing, but they're going in for that education market. It's not quite as cheap as the Chromebook, but I think Apple wants a piece of that pie.
Yeah, I agree. And that's exactly where when I first saw this, I was like, wow, this is a really solid entry level laptop where you can get the MacBook brand and the Apple ecosystem on your laptop without breaking the bank. You're not going to get the best of the best, but you're still going to get something that's really reliable, has pretty good specs, and will do the average day-to-day tasks for the average individual. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, this would be a good laptop for like my wife, or if I had a kid going to college or someone even in high school, get them this laptop because I feel like it's more affordable, but it still provides a lot of quality features. So this caught my eye. I really like this. It kind of seemed like going off the theme you're talking about, Ethan, where they released products that are more affordable. It definitely felt like the whole theme here was like, hey, you don't need the best of the best. We offer things that are more consumer friendly. And so that kind of leads into the next one, the iPhone 17e. And we've seen an E version before, of different products. What are your thoughts on the 17e?
I think it's really cool. I think this was really strategic for Apple to unveil this additional line of the iPhone in March because we just had where Samsung just announced and released their new S26 line of phones.
Mm.
So they've they basically they've strategically in the past like they've held the very front end of the year for smartphone releases, where now Apple's kind of got this other budget friendly phone coming in at that same time. I think it's going to probably take away some people that may have been thinking about upgrading their Samsung phones. They might go to this because this is an affordable option. I know Samsung's phones are pretty expensive this generation. They, in my opinion, I don't think the features that they're putting into it justify what their price is. So I think this at a price point of $599 here in March is really great. And I think it's a great option. It has pretty much all the features that any person needs. It's not super flashy, but if you need a phone that can do a lot of tasks that most people do, this is what it has. And it has MagSafe now, which is like the best quality of life feature.
Yeah, it's really nice. It has the new A19 chip. So we were talking about the A18, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it has the upgraded chip, which is great. 48 megapixel fusion camera, solid, and 256 gigs of storage, which for me, I use iCloud a lot. And so the 256 is fine, in my opinion. I don't really need anything else beyond that. I'm not storing anything crazy. I also like the size of it. I have the Max, the 17 Max, and although I love the screen size, I will say a part of me wishes I had a little bit smaller of a phone that fits better in my pocket, that's easier to hold with one hand. And so I do like the size of it. It's simple in my mind. It's very functional, it's reliable, it's got good quality, and it's simple. I'm really happy with the 17Es. I have zero problem, thinking about buying this as an option going forward. If I were to break my phone, I don't want to buy another 17 Max Pro. I'd probably go with the 17e. I have a budget Apple Watch. I have the SE, and that has performed well for me. It's just outdated. And so I don't mind these more budget friendly options because in reality, I think, and you tell me if you feel the same. I feel a lot of us are ambitious in our estimates of like what we're going to be doing and saying,
Yes.
"Oh man, I could do so much. I could maximize my time. I could edit so much. I could do so many things with all these cool features and the camera's amazing with the 3 cameras on the Max Pro." And like in reality, I use the standard video every time pretty much. It's like, do I really
Yeah.
need it? So I don't know. I think in reality, a lot of people probably should go this route more so than anything. And it's nice that Apple has released it. So tell me your thoughts though on on,
Yeah,
on my perspective.
I always overestimate what I'm going to need. Like when I go to buy a new phone, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to use every camera. I'm going to make movies with that. I'm going to be taking the most cinematic shots. And all I really do is send emails and probably browse YouTube while I'm doing, when I should be doing something more productive.
Sure,
So,
sure. Yeah.
and really, I don't need the Max phone for that. So, probably the majority of what I use my phone for, this could probably do everything that I need. So,
Hmm.
it's me that I kind of need to get over my pride of wanting to be an early adopter of tech and just go for what is more conscious for my budget.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of budget for the conscious for budget, there's a few other items here that we see that are a little bit budget friendly. There's 2 Air products that they released. The iPad Air um, with M4, which I think that was kind of surprising to me with the M4 processor.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also have the MacBook Air with the M5.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of kicking myself because I bought an iPad. I think I bought the cheapest iPad for $250, and the iPad Air with M4 is listed at 600. I'm like, that's not. I mean, sure, it's like over double the price, but like in reality, 300, $250 to $300 or $600 for like a much better processor and a much better product. Man, I'm like kind of kicking myself that I bought the iPad,
Yeah.
and I didn't wait for this. What are your
Yeah, because
thoughts on those? Yeah.
I think this is really cool because I have the iPad Pro, the M1 iPad Pro. I loved that, but I'm fairly certain that this iPad Air can run circles around it now because of the amount of innovation that they've been able to do with their series silicon chips. So I think this is great. It's at a reasonable price point. I wouldn't say that it's worth, if you have the M3 iPad Air, I wouldn't say that this is really worth upgrading to the M4. But if you're coming from an older generation and you want something a little bit faster that can handle the latest generation of things, this might be a pretty good value.
Yeah. I agree with that. A part of me is like, well, maybe I give my $250 iPad with the A16. 16, bro. That's like 3-year-old, if not more, technology there. And don't get me wrong, it's still great, but maybe I give that to my kids and then buy myself and my wife the iPad Air to use and share. But in reality, I probably don't need it. Again, overly ambitious. That's how I roll. I'm like, oh man, I think I need it. I think I need it.
Yeah.
So that's me. But the other thing that like I'm debating is we talked about the Neo, the MacBook Neo. My wife uses my MacBook Air, and my MacBook Air, I believe, has the M4. And they released another one with the M5. And my question is, if I were to get a second laptop for my wife, do I do the M5 or do I do the Neo? And that's where I'm trying to figure that out. Like what makes more sense. I'd probably spend a little bit more for her just for the M5 so she has it. But
Yeah.
the Neo is a great option as well. What are your thoughts on the M5 or the MacBook Air with the M5?
I think it's great that the M5 is coming to the MacBook Air. One of the things that I'm not so happy is that they increased the price for this from last generation.
Mm,
So it is a little bit more expensive. I think the reason they did that is to really differentiate it from the MacBook Neo. So that aside from the increased chip and the cost to make it, whatever, it's a way of them really segmenting them and separating them from their two product lines.
Yeah. Yeah. I think mine, the when I bought mine, it was sub 1,000, and we're seeing this start at the 1,099 price
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. So
So,
I'm not happy that the price raised for that. I think it's still a great product. I like the MacBook Air line. I think it's really portable, has a lot of features that everyone needs, and also has the ability to do some more demanding tasks. I mean, it's got the Thunderbolt 4 ports, so you have a lot of flexibility. And if you did get a studio display, not that you would really pair the studio display with this MacBook Air, you have that option though.
yeah, that's sweet. You do have that option.
So I think it's cool. I think the updates to the MacBook Pro, where they have the M5 Pro and M5 Max chips, those are
Yeah.
going to be pretty cool. So it'll have a lot of ability for LLM prompt processing and neural processing within there. So I think that should be some good upgrades for it. And with the new ability to charge it a little bit faster, I think it makes it really great for people that need extra juice on the go really quick and who forget to charge their laptop often, like I do.
Yeah. I don't run into that problem because my laptop's always plugged into my monitor, and it charges my laptop, which you can do now with the new SD. Is it the SDRX displays?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the XDRX displays or the studio displays. The one thing I'll say about the MacBook Pro is, and again, I think going back to what your point is, Ethan, this might be in the realm of what our listeners and audience are looking for, and this is maybe what they want to highlight for someone like myself or my wife who we don't do any video editing, we don't do any Adobe, we don't do any photo editing. We aren't really too deep into the tech world when it comes to actual production. I don't think this is something for us, but for those who do need it, touts incredible specs. You mentioned the processing power, but then, it also has the N1 networking chip for Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and the storage kind of blew me away. The MacBook Pro has a 1 terabyte storage for the M5 Pro, and then 2 terabytes for the M5 Max. And I'm like, 2 terabytes of storage? Dang, that's nuts. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
it is. I'm glad that they have that because, I mean, if you are doing a lot of photo and video editing on the go, you will want that extra space. Because I remember having the MacBook Pro when I was going to law school 10 years ago and doing some video editing with that in addition to that, and having a terabyte, it was almost not enough. I would often run out of space and have to offload stuff onto an external drive. I think having those as the base option, that much storage, I think that's a great option and a step in the right direction because a lot of the people that use these products need that storage or just want that for kind of a buffer zone for what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's so true. Again, going back to who we think our listeners might be, and also who's buying these high-end products from Apple, it's going to be those individuals who have large video and photo files, right? They're not
Mm-hmm.
they're not shooting 2P. They're shooting K resolution. Their video files are big. And so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So really interesting stuff from Apple. I was actually pretty happy about a few of these options. I probably will make a purchase or two in the next couple of years, or maybe even just a year. I bet in the holidays I'll see a purchase happen for my wife. So yeah. So yeah, it's exciting stuff. I'm really happy about it. Yeah. Any
Yeah,
other thoughts? Yeah.
I'm really happy with what they did. I think a lot of this was, hey, we are the beacon in the darkness of tech at the moment. At a time where every company is saying, hey, we're going to dump more money into AI and stop producing stuff for the consumer, it kind of seems like Apple is here for the consumer.
Yeah.
once again,
Yeah.
which never happens. I don't know that I've ever seen them be for the consumer.
Yeah. Yeah. And even yeah, it's been a while that since that's the case. And even this, like, yes, it's like more consumer oriented to be more consumer friendly. There's still some gripes that I think you and I have about some things, but yeah, it is kind of nice to see this from Apple. So
Exactly. Well, some things we don't have gripes about, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. That really does help out our channel. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't, that other button seems to work all right as well. Make sure you send this to somebody you dislike. I'm sure they could use that in their life. As always, ring-a-ling that ding-a-ling button so you never miss out on any content as is posted on the channel. Until next time, stay classy and have a great evening.
peace.